were born in New Delhi?
No, I was born in a state called Assam, A-S-S-A-M, in the east of India. My father was in the army, so he was posted out to one real outpost where I just happened to be born.
Okay.
But then we moved back west and moved to Delhi. Because, in the army they move every 3 years. So at the age of 9, I was actually put into a boarding school so that I had some stability of my education rather than move as an army family. So I was in a place called Dehradun, D-E-H-R-A-D-U-N. D-E-H-R-A-D-U-N. This was in the foothills of the Himalayas, so very pretty place. And so I stayed in the boarding school till I finished high school, and then went into my pre-medical, medical rotation and clinic and training, and that was in Delhi, New Delhi. So I finished my what we call MBBS, or what they call in the US MD.
Okay.
Became a doctor. And,
what brought you to the United States?
Well, it was a circuitous route. First I went to the United Kingdom. From there.
Okay.
And, the British were in India for many hundreds of years, right? And so they had excellent medical education, and so I thought I would go and learn and do my training in England. So I went there after my MBBS, and I did my certification in general surgery, what they call the FRCS, and I was in London for 11 years. So I did my general surgery certification, and then I did my certification in orthopedics from the University of London. And then it was crossroads time as to what I wanted to do with my life. And I wanted to do hand surgery, train in, be further specialized in hand surgery. And the best programs in the world actually are in hand surgery at that time, and I think even now, were in the US.
Okay.
So I came to Connecticut in Hartford, and I did what we call a hand fellowship, which is a year's training in just hand surgery. So I was there, and then I got a job here at the Riverside Medical Clinic. So I moved over, lock, stock, barrel and family to Riverside, and that's what brought me here.
Okay. Let's talk about how you go from being a scientist to being an artist and involvement in film, and then let's go to poetry, or should we go to poetry first and then film?
Poetry came last.
Okay,
so
let's talk about film. Okay, how did
actually, the origins of all this were more in community.
Okay.
When we came to Riverside, I wanted to be involved with the community, and so with some friends we started the Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce in Riverside. We didn't have one for the Indian American community. And with that, because of the contacts we made with the Chamber of Commerce and other organizations, I got to know the International Relations Council of Riverside, and then they invited me to be on their board, because I liked the fact that, even then I think we should have, and now we think much more so of a global society. So I like the international relations aspect, considering I've been to India and Europe and the US, so I wanted to pursue that a little more. And I became the president of the International Relations Council, the IRC, and good organization. It had already been in existence for about 50 years when I joined, and that was a sister city program with Riverside. So when I became the president, I wanted to take that one step further to bring the organization, as any president is supposed to, you put something of your stamp on it.
Right.
And so we did a lot of delegations with the mayor and the chancellors of the universities, and we went to India and Mexico and Korea and Japan. And at that time, I thought it would be a great idea to generate understanding of cultures through film, because people read, but the visual arts, and especially film, really brings a slice of society and culture into your world. And so I thought that would be a great way for our community in Riverside to learn more about our relationships with the countries that we already were communicating with. So I presented the idea to Korea, Japan, and Mexico. At that time, actually, India wasn't a sister city in Hyderabad. That came a little later.
Okay.
So I asked them to send the best of their films to Riverside for a mini festival. That's how it started.
Okay, what year was that?
Long time ago, 11, 12 years ago.
Okay.
That was the idea, but we had a 10th anniversary this year.
Okay.
So in actual formation, it has been there for 10 years, the festival.
Okay.
So about that time, when it takes a little to organize and all.
Absolutely.
So that's how we started over a weekend, and we had 13 films, and it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday festival. And since then, because of the concept and people responded well to it, I thought it would be nice to have a formal board and make it a non-profit organization and expand it, because of the international flavor. I wanted it to be an international film festival, but also obviously we wanted to encourage the independent filmmakers from Hollywood. And so as we spread the word out, we got more and more submissions, and so from a weekend festival we've now grown to 10 days, and from 13 films. This year we had 170 plus films from all over the world. So I think on an average about 30 countries are represented in Riverside. So
any countries in Africa represented?
South Africa we've had.
Okay.
But what we do is, like Chapman University, they send a lot of their students to Africa to make films.
Okay.
And they come a lot to us. So we actually get a flavor of Africa with the filmmakers going from here to over there.
Okay.
We would definitely like to encourage filmmakers in Africa to submit to us.
Okay. You just did.